action.
Hey there, here coming at you with the third video, Olson Outdoors here, and we're going to be talking fire starters. Noticed I've watched a lot of videos on fire starters, fire starting, flint, all that stuff, and I just love it. And I'm going to just share with you how I start my fire, how I light my fire. Start with my favorite. I don't work for them, I promise. I'm not trying to sell. Well, I just recommend good stuff to people, so it's been working for me so far. I have lots of other cool knives, but this one's got my fire starter, so we're going to get into it. This is what I light my fires with. I'll show you. I'll come up a bit closer here so you can see. This here is the fire starter that I use. Tried to put it together with all natural stuff. I know there's lots of wax stuff and cotton ball stuff. And that stuff works really awesome. I try to keep it as bush and like natural as possible. So we got, what it's comprised of is 2 elements in 3 different stages. We got unraveled jute twine. I find that stuff takes a spark and bam, wham, bam, thank you ma'am, you got fire. We got birch bark. Now, on the birch tree, you got like the really thick birch bark full of oils and stuff. That's what gives you kind of a longer burn. And then there's that fine paper, hairy stuff. Again, this is only going to be good for you if you've got birch in your area or state or whatever. If you don't, cotton balls might have to be your thing or whatever works for you. This is what works for me. I use the fine paper thin stuff that kind of just falls off the outside of the birch tree. I wrap that around the jute twine, and then I find a bigger chunk and I wrap that around the fine stuff and the jute twine. So it's kind of a 3-layered thing, 2 parts birch bark, 1 part jute twine. It's the one strike wonder. Now it's probably going to take me 3 because I said that. The other thing is pre-bending the birch bark is how I keep these little fire starters together. It's something you can do when you're sitting around your camp. You set up your camp. Now you got all this time on your hands. Maybe the person you're with is a complete bore and they're not good conversationalists or whatever. Or you just like tinkering around. What I'll do is while you're hiking, you just grab some of the birch bark, right? Then while you're by the fire, you put them on a stick and you just slowly roast it and it'll actually curl up into a real tight curl. If you try and do this here, just with raw birch bark, it's not going to work. So you kind of pre-curl them like a little cinnamon roll or something. Then you got to unspring it after you've curled it, put your stuff in there, and it'll spring back and hold together. So let's see if we can get this thing started. A little tiny bit of a breeze. Let's see if I can do this one strike wonder with 1 strike. See what happens. We're going to build a fire with the Olson fire starter. Showed you this before, but I'll show you again. Real hot sparks coming off of this bad boy right here. Kind of came apart a little bit there. Seems to be going. That birch bark, those oils. If you get that birch bark oil going, you get some mean fire off of there. I'd say fierce fire, but that's already taken. There's somebody on YouTube who makes some pretty cool stuff called fierce fire. Search it, see what comes up. I know Dino has lots of cool fire starter stuff on his channel. And there you go. I pre-chopped this stuff so you don't have to sit here and watch me swing a hatchet for, 5 minutes of your life. Obviously, if you've built a fire before, you start with your small stuff and work your way up, and that's pretty straightforward. 1 strike wonder. I know that all flints and all ferrocerium rods aren't the same. Some burn hotter than others. At least that's what I've been told. I'm not a scientist, so if I'm wrong, let me know how ferrocerium rods work. But it's my understanding that the ferrocerium that these guys use is one of the hottest sparking ones. So either I'm a sucker or they're right. Either way, does the job for me. Olson Outdoors, and there's your one strike wonder Olson fire starter.